morning. It's a Wednesday morning again, and here we are at 2021. And most of us have set some resolutions. Normally at the new year, people set resolutions. Sometimes some of us have decided we're not going to set any resolutions because we never keep to them. But some of us still believe that we'll keep to them. And this year, I'd like to help you with your resolutions and help you to make those resolutions work. And I think that the article that I wrote kind of explains some of the different components of a resolution that we experience. One is just a preference. I would rather weigh 10 pounds less. So that's my resolution. I'd rather do that. That's a preference. And then there are beliefs. I think I could weigh 10 pounds less. And I really believe that if I just watch my food and maybe go on this diet or that diet, that I can weigh 10 pounds less by spring or by next week or in a few days. But there is another level of resolution, and that is a conviction. And if we go to legal terms about the First Amendment and just borrow a little moment from the religious liberty field, a conviction is protected by the First Amendment, but a preference is not, and a belief is not. So there are certain things that make up a conviction that I outlined in the article. And a lot of those came from a section of an orientation to something called the Order of Melchizedek, which is a biblical kind of order. And Melchizedek is mentioned about 4 times in the Old and New Testament. But if you have a conviction, normally you need to have it compounded with other kinds of resolution issues related to your conviction. For instance, if I lose 10 pounds, I'll be 40 pounds less on my knees of pressure. And that is true because a pound that you lose equals 4 pounds of pressure eliminated from joints. So that could be a compound of the original resolution. And another compound might be that I can play with my children or grandchildren or pets more. I can take them on walks. I can be more mobile. I can dance more. All sorts of ways that you can build on that initial success and add additional success that wouldn't have happened because you hadn't had the initial success. And so I compared that to compound interest. And just to share with you, Einstein, getting out of the religious field and into more of a scientific field, said that compound interest, let me put it another way, exactly how he said it, the 8th wonder of the world, and you know there's 7 wonders generally speaking, the 8th wonder of the world is the miracle of compound interest. And for those of you who had your money invested, say 30 years ago, you know exactly what that means, that it is a miracle of compound interest, because you could start out with a very small investment and it would be up to 16,000 before you knew it, because the interest was added in, and then the further interest was taken on both the initial principal and the interest added in. So it added up very quickly. It was a great way to make money in those days with a CD. But now we don't have such a great initial interest. So it's maybe not the best way to invest. If you know a good way to invest, I really wish you would tell me. But those are things that I wrote in the article about your resolutions. And this whole series for the next 2 months is going to be about the light and the dark. And walking in the light is, especially after 220, is something that people have sort of wanted to vow themselves to do. It's been a serious year, 220, and it has been, for many people, a period of self-evaluation. As one of the people said in a meeting of mine, we don't have to rush anymore. We're not rushing as much anymore. And that is true for some people. That the hectic, busy life has slowed down some, and you are more isolated in your homes. Families have changed, some for the better, some for the worse. And individuals have changed. The people that I see in therapy have begun to express a concern that, I'm going to put it really plain, that dark forces are coming into our society. And I think that if you look at the different things that have happened during the last year and a half, you will begin to really see how we need to walk in a light of love, a light of concern, a light of kindness, and a light of humbleness. There is a lot of contention. There is rioting. There are sides drawn with a strict board between them, and friendships even get lost over the various differences. It's a hard time in our nation, and not only that, globally. So this series is about having some light on a subject. And what I hope to do with the different levels of commitment is give you a light on your resolutions that will help you to achieve. Because there's nothing more satisfying than to achieve a goal. And especially something that maybe you've worked with for years and have not achieved. So I wish you the very best. I will be thinking of you. And I would also like to say that I am open to taking clients now. I have had the wonderful fortune of having many of my clients celebrate Christmas by closure and completing their journey with me in therapy. And so openings are available, and I can service the area of Virginia as a psychotherapist, counselor, and I can service beyond Virginia as a life coach. I have separate insurance for both of them. So if you want to know what the difference of the two of them is, then just ask me. And my telephone number, you'll see it on the written part of this presentation, but I'll just tell you, it's 804-240-6546. And I'd love it if you would just call and tell me how you are reacting to some of the presentations that we give over the next 2 months. That would be wonderful information for me, because I am doing some writing. So long for this week, and next week we will have a different topic. And I think I've outlined the topics that we'll be having, so I hope that you will tune in. Thank you so much.